Chapter 9, Managing Inventory in the Supply Chain. Let's take a look at the importance of inventory and some classification systems and approaches to managing it. The influence of information technology during the late 1990s and its impact on inventories was reflected in the U.S. economy's ability to grow dramatically while holding inflation in check. With information technology advances escalating in the early 21st century, organizations are still implementing programs to take inventories out of the supply chain. The major cost trade-off in logistics is between transportation and inventory. However, the cost of fuel today, coupled with capacity constraints in the transportation industry, has escalated the cost of transportation, and it will be interesting to see if the traditional trade-offs between transportation and inventory costs will remain the same in this new environment. Inventory plays a dual role in organizations, and it impacts the cost of goods sold as well as supporting order fulfillment. Consumer packaged goods firms and the wholesalers and retailers that are part of their distribution channels face a special challenge in keeping inventories at acceptable levels because of the difficulty of forecasting demand and increasing expectations from customers concerning product availability. The point is that managing inventory is a critical factor for success in many organizations. Many organizations have responded to this challenge, as indicated by the macro data presented in the previous section, and have reduced inventory levels while maintaining appropriate customer service levels. Their ability to achieve the twin goals of lower inventory, efficiency, and acceptable customer service levels, effectiveness, is based on a number of factors. Let's look at some of the major types of inventory and reasons for carrying them. So we'll look at these 6, and specifically looking at batching economies or cycle stocks. These usually arrive from 3 sources: procurement, production, and/or transportation. Scale economies are often associated with all 3, which can result in the accumulation of inventory that will not be used or sold immediately. This means that some cycle stock or inventory will be used up or sold over some period of time. Larger purchase volumes result in lower prices per unit and vice versa. Transportation firms usually offer rate price discounts for shipping larger quantities. Note that purchase economies and transportation economies are complementary. The third batching economy is associated with production. Many organizations feel that their production costs per unit are substantially lower when they have long production runs of the same product. All organizations are faced with uncertainty. On the demand or customer side, there's usually uncertainty in how much customers will buy and when they will buy it. On the supply side, there might be uncertainty about obtaining what is needed from suppliers and how long it will take for the fulfillment of the order. Trade-off analysis is appropriate and can be accomplished using the appropriate tools to assess the risk and measure the inventory cost. Setting safety stock levels for an organization is both an art and a science. The time associated with transportation, e.g. supplier to manufacturing plant, and with the manufacture or assembly of a complex product means that even while goods are in motion, an inventory cost is associated with the time period. The longer the transport time period, the higher the cost. The time period for in-transit inventory and work in process, or WIP, inventory, should be evaluated in terms of the appropriate trade-offs. The various transportation modes available for shipping freight have different transit time lengths, transit time variability, and damage rates. WIP inventories are associated with manufacturing. The length of time WIP inventory sits in a manufacturing facility waiting to be included in a particular product should be carefully evaluated in relationship to scheduling techniques and the actual manufacturing assembly technology. Seasonality can occur in the supply of raw materials, in the demand for finished product, or in both. Organizations that are faced with seasonality issues are constantly challenged when determining how much inventory to accumulate. While the supply of the raw material is available during only one part of the year, demand is stable throughout the year. This scenario many times is faced with high storage costs and/or high obsolescence costs, and sometimes seasonality can impact transportation as well. A fifth reason to hold inventory arises when an organization anticipates that an unusual event might occur that will negatively impact its source of supply. Examples of these events would include strikes, significant raw materials or finished good price increases, a major shortage of supply because of political unrest, or weather. Most organizations will accumulate some level of inventory for very good reasons. In many instances, the inventory cost might be more than offset by savings in other areas. The basic principle is that decisions to accumulate inventory need to be evaluated using a trade-off framework. In addition to the other reasons discussed, there are other reasons for accumulating inventory, such as maintaining suppliers or employees. Logistics interfaces with an organization's other functional areas, such as marketing and manufacturing. The interface is usually more prominent in the inventory area. As background for analyzing the importance of inventory in the logistics system, several aspects of how logistics relates to other functional business areas with respect to inventory must be discussed. Let's start with marketing. The primary mission of marketing is to identify, create, and help satisfy demand for an organization's products and services. Marketing tends to have a favorable view on holding sufficient and/or extra inventory to ensure product availability to meet customer needs. Then let's look at manufacturing. In many organizations, manufacturing operations are measured by how efficiently they can produce each unit of output. This situation typically means that manufacturing operations tend to be optimized when they have long production runs of a single product while minimizing the number of changeovers. These long production runs will result in high inventory levels, but low labor and machine costs per unit. And let's consider finance. Inventories can impact both the income statement and balance sheet of an organization. Inventories create an asset and liability on the balance sheet, as well as a cash flow impact on the income statement. As such, finance usually looks favorably at low inventories to increase inventory turns, reduce liabilities and assets, and increase cash flow to the organization.